Good evening and welcome to the ISD 191 Legislative Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, May the 24th, 2022, and we will get started. So I think that just the three of us, just Director Werb and I and Superintendent Battle are here this evening, so welcome.
Thank you,
And
Director.
Lisa, hello, Director Ryder, way in the back.
Thank you, Director Hume and Director Werb. So unfortunately, you have disappointing news about Senate File 2011 and House File 2117. Those were the two bills for our legislative exemption. So for the sale of property, we would have that flexibility to not only use the proceeds in the capital fund, but unassigned general fund. So the Senate File 2011, the senators did bring it forward, and it was passed in the Senate on May 16th. Unfortunately, the House committee, it did go forward to the omnibus bill, so that would be the E12 supplemental bill, and that is when the House and the Senate did not have agreement. And so, as you know, it takes both the Senate and the House to send it to the governor for it to become law. And so the next step we would look forward to have some action would be if there was a special session called by the governor. And then we would have to wait and see. Of course, the Senate already has passed. We would have to see what would happen with the House and if there would be agreement between the two, the Senate and the House. And then if there is no action there, we can try again next year.
Disappointing, but thank you for the update. And
One other note, I did consult with a lobbyist. Was there anything we could have done differently? And the answer was no. The House has a process. They do not separate the bills like the Senate does. So it's their process. And the only advice was to have our board members or any constituents to contact legislator and the governor about your opinion about the special session and any comments about our particular bills. So that's Senate File 2011 and House File 2117 that is included in their supplemental budget bill.
Yeah, I got that email that MSBA sent out that on the omnibus bill because it included everything regarding education. And it was basically what it sounded like is they just ran out of time and they stopped working on bills and they just were like, oh, we're done. Okay, well, just leave all this other stuff on the table and who cares? And yeah, they said to, push for that special session. So I think, is there a way we can communicate to people what they could do to, push for that special session?
One way is here now, this is broadcast, and then there will be is there a committee report at the next board meeting? Yep.
I believe
Is
so.
the other way.
So we can certainly, I'll include in the committee report that people can certainly contact their legislators about either the special session and or specifically our bill that we had hoped to get passed this year.
And then I do have a 191 update that goes out after the board meeting
Right.
that reflects the action the board took or some other information that the board may have discussed.
I know a lot of work has gone into trying to get the exemption passed this year, so thank you to you and your team for all that was done
Yeah.
and it's just disappointing that the legislature was not able to complete their work.
You're welcome. And I do thank the representatives and the senators who did collaborate and bring both
Definitely.
bills forward.
They've been good partners
you.
throughout the whole process, for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. I guess the only other agenda item is something that has come up on a couple of different previous meetings, and I thought as we are getting closer to election season, we should probably make a decision on whether or not, if we are approached, if we would want to consider inviting legislative candidates to our meetings later this summer or fall, or if we would want to have an formal invitation to include any of those candidates that would be running specifically for the state house and the state representatives. I would think. I don't think we'd want to open it up beyond that. I mean, if Angie Craig or whoever her opponent is really wanted to, but that would seem unlikely. But so my initial thought. Well, what do you think, Anna? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I thought we had a discussion about that, and we thought that it wasn't going to be a good idea because it would be kind of like we're serving as like a platform.
That's definitely the concern.
Yeah, for candidates. And it's really not our objective to be like on one side or another.
Right. And I think the only way it would work is if we open it up to all candidates, which could be, I mean, who knows? There could be 10 candidates for a position if there's a lot of independents or third-party candidates, and yeah,
I think
that's a
if
risk.
there was a candidate that had a special interest in our district,
Mm-hmm.
that might be of value, but
Maybe, but I think that potentially runs the risk of what you started
Right.
with, even more
Yeah.
so if they have a particular interest or agenda, even if it's one that supports the district. I think it could be if we invited them, but not their opponent.
right.
So I think that's where, if we were to open it up, I think it would have to be kind of an
Right.
all or nothing, at
But-
least for the same seat. Like if
Yes.
candidate A from this district wanted to come, then we'd also need to invite candidate B, just to be fair, I think.
Right.
My other related question, and I don't think we've talked about this, and I agree, I think we should probably wait until after the election. But what I really, as I was thinking about this over the last couple of days, was wondering maybe what we should consider doing, though, is sending an email to the candidates with a copy of our legislative agenda and just letting them know that if they are elected, we will look forward to working with them on the priorities. So kind of introducing them to the district, sharing our legislative platform, our current legislative platform with them, and let them know that, you know, after the election, that document would be getting updated early in the next session, but a lot of it probably could carry over from year to year.
I like that idea because then it also would serve as, kind of a gauge as to like if they respond and they, interact with what you send and act like they sound interested, just kind of seeing what their feedback would be
Right.
even prior to them being elected to see if they would be engaging or not.
One, it's also a good way, I think, to begin to develop a relationship, begin to create some awareness, because I think sometimes, depending on what their primary reason for running is, they may or may not have a lot of awareness of what the priorities are in the local school district that will be within their district. So that was kind of my thought in terms of maybe this is something that we could share proactively with people, and then after the election, we would follow up with them and start inviting them. Once we know who wins, inviting them to our meetings as we've had in the past. So that was my thought.
I think we can bring you a draft of something, at least by September, because the election's in November.
The election's in November, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
doing it this summer, I mean, I know they've
Yeah.
been having primaries and such, but it's probably a little early but
I'm
probably.
not sure when do they have to file, when is the deadline. I think that will guide us,
Well, wasn't there a primary
guide you.
a week or
Yeah.
so ago? Oh, maybe not. Maybe that, it was the
something
conventions.
tonight.
They
It
just
was
had the
something
conventions.
tonight, just for, unfortunately,
Hagedorn's
Hagedorn's
congressional
passed.
seat
I
is up
think
for
that's
election tonight.
right.
No, it was the
But I think
the
it's not-
DFL and the GOP conventions, nominating conventions were
Yes.
recently. So I think that now they have
Okay.
the endorsed candidates, but then I think they still have a primary,
Going it this summer.
usually in July or August.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'd want to
Bring it
wait until
back.
after the primary to know who's actually on the ballot in November, I would think. So
Okay.
September would sound about right.
Okay.
So maybe we have that on the agenda for maybe our August meeting so that it's ready to go soon, in, say, early to mid-September.
Okay. Sounds good.
And, all right, so we're in agreement to not invite candidates to the meeting, but we'll reach out to them with our legislative platform and an introductory message.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
Director
actually.
Hume, I have one thing.
Oh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want me to go first? So at our last board meeting, we talked about the materials for new candidates. And we were talking about putting the legislative
Yep.
platform in there. So has that gone any further, like about how we're going to update that or when we're going to update that? Because we're coming up here on,
So
right.
you're referencing that the regular board meeting, there were several changes and additions. Yes, that was one of those. So I have shared that with Jamie. And so our candidate forum, it will be updated, as well as we had to update the slides for budget information. So yes, it's on the list to be updated.
okay.
And we had talked about including the platform with that information sheet
Yes.
when they file, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which the filing doesn't start, I think, until the end of July, if I remember correctly.
Lisa, do you know the elections? I'm not sure.
It's typically late July. I don't know the exact date, but
Okay.
based on past experience, that's when it's been. All right. Is that
Okay.
it? And Dr. Battle, you said you had another?
At the last legislative committee meeting, there was discussion about learning about what other districts
Oh, yes.
have. And I did talk to the regional superintendents on April 28th. And so at that time, Bloomington and District 196 shared information. And then Jamie did reach out to other districts, Prior Lake and Lakeville. So if we can add that to next agenda. I'll
Perfect.
give you that
That'd be great.
information. Okay.
Which would be late June,
June.
22nd?
Yes.
21st, whatever that Tuesday is.
So we'll bring back that information.
I hope it's the 21st.
Let's see.
It is. Tuesday's the 21st. Oh, no, it'd be the 28th, because it's the fourth, typically the fourth Tuesday. Or did we change it?
20, you
in June?
changed.
We changed it in June to the 21st, didn't we?
No, it's the 21st.
Yep,
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 the
okay.
21st.
So June 21st. So we'll put on the agenda for the June 21st
Great.
meeting. Perfect. If there is nothing else, what did I say, 6:20? We can be adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see everybody Thursday.